I got to do one of the coolest things in the world and actually play Tekken 8 early. So I played it about a week ago, and I just want to tell you guys all about it. Should you get Tekken 8? Is this worth your time? Are you a newcomer to this series? Do you think this is a good jumping on point? All that kind of stuff is going to be covered today, so let's get into it. So first of all, I want to start with the gameplay. Now, the gameplay is very cool because you have these special controls, I think is what they're called. They're basically like more accessibility, so you don't have to do these crazy button combos to be able to pull off some really cool moves. Instead, it's just mapped to a button or a trigger or something like that, and it's a lot easier to pull off. Think something like how Street Fighter introduced those modern controls as well, where you don't have to press 24 buttons in order to pull off one move. And yeah, does it, maybe affect things a little bit for people who are pros at it? I guess, but at the same time, if you're new to Tekken, if you're trying to get into it for the first time, I think this is a fantastic jumping on point. I think that because of the accessibility they allow within these controls, it's going to bring in a lot of new fans. I talked to one of the guys there that worked on it, and he said that you don't really want to put in a ton of work on these games for like a very niche audience to play it. They're really putting all of this amazing work into this game, and for it to just appeal to hardcore fans would be sort of a shame. I think they want to captivate new Tekken players, new Tekken fans, and I think that this game, and especially with the special controls, I think it's a really good jumping on point to come into this game for the first time and experience exactly what Tekken has to offer. But, of course, if you do like those crazy fun button controls that you've grown up playing, you've played Tekken forever, you know all the button combos that still is available here, you just go and select arcade controls instead of, I think these are just the default controls, so you can always change it, don't worry too much about that. So then, obviously, a lot of people play Tekken, obviously because they like the game mechanics, they like the fighting and whatnot, and they like to fight with their friends or something, but a lot of people play it because of the story as well, because if you don't know, Tekken actually has a Guinness Book World Record for the longest running video game story, and it's because they have continued the story from Tekken, the first inception of Tekken, all the way up until now. It is a continuous, linear story for the most part, right? Which is very, very cool, but that can also make people think, oh, I have to play every single last Tekken game. Listen, I think you can watch a YouTube recap very easily, and all of these are sort of standalone. This story is about Jin, right here, fighting Kazuya, his father. And so they're like duking it out. And the last story was about Kazuya fighting Heihachi, his father. Or Heihachi? I don't know how you say it, I'm sorry. But, so it's just like, yes, it might be good to play those other ones, but you don't need to. It's not, necessarily the most important thing because the story does sort of stand alone by itself. So I wouldn't worry about that too much. It is, of course, super over the top, super goofy. It's a Tekken story, you know what I mean? It's very cartoony. It's like, ah, you did this. We must fight. And then they fight. And then it's like, ah. But, I don't know, it's not that crazy, you know what I mean? But I did get to spend a good bit of time with it, and I did really, really enjoy it. A thing that can't be understated here is also the graphics of this game. They really take advantage on being on next-gen hardware. They push the PS5, they push the Xbox to the absolute max, and I think that it's really fantastic. You look at these graphics and you think that this is a new Tekken game. It's not like these half steps a lot of other companies are taking. No, this is a full plunge into a brand new Tekken, and it's really, really good. Very visually fantastic. Gameplay is fantastic. I really like the story. And honestly, the stories in Tekken are never super long. I think this one's probably 5 or so hours, more or less, depending on how good you are. So, it's just a really great jumping off point. It teaches you the game. It teaches you how to play. It teaches you what you need to do at this time and stuff like that. So it really just gets you into the flow of fighting people, and it can really just teach you exactly what you're going to need to know when you go to online matches, which is pretty much all of these single player modes. That's pretty much the end goal. They want you to just get comfortable doing online matches and continuously doing those over and over again. Now, there is also an arcade mode, which is essentially the extended story mode, and they have this character customization where you can make your own little avatar in the game. I think it's pretty funny, it's pretty cute, and what they said is they want to capture the feeling of players going to the arcades to play these fighting games, which is where you used to do it. Obviously, I didn't really ever experience that as I am younger, and if you guys comment, ooh, I hate Gen Z, blah 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 blah, I don't give a shit. I don't care about your generations enough to even have an opinion on them. So it shows how much you care about me. So thank you. Well, while you're at it, maybe subscribe. But since I didn't get to experience the actual arcade boom, right? So they kind of brought that in this game, is the idea. But it's basically you go up to people, they're like, hey, let's fight. And then you fight like you're playing the video game, right? It's it's a cute little story. It's cute because it's like meta, you know, it's like, oh, I'm playing a Tekken game about playing a Tekken game and winning a Tekken like league tournament, right? That's kind of cool, but I don't know. The story's nothing really to write home about. Mostly what it is just practicing, and they really teach you here. They pause, they like rewind stuff. They're making sure they're like, okay, you need to go high here, you need to go mid, you need to go low, which are the different groups of, you know, punches and attacks you have in Tekken. So I think it's very helpful for someone who isn't great at Tekken but has always loved the franchise, which is exactly what I am. I think it's very, very helpful. So it's just going to get you more comfortable with your character that you choose, and ultimately the goal here is to get you again to do online matches. Now, speaking about online, I didn't actually get to use online mode because it wasn't available in this demo that we had, but there's actually going to be a demo coming out on the 21st to play Tekken 8 that, you know, allows you to experience the online mode. I don't think it's all encompassing. I don't think you get to play as much as we did here, but you do get to mess around with it a little bit, and if you're interested in the game, I really implore you to check it out. Coming out on the 21st of this month, so just in a couple of days. Please check it out. Now, here's something that kind of pissed me off. They don't have any dancer styles, you know, like that dancey style. I don't remember what it's called, but that's Eddie, and there was this other girl that they don't have anymore. Eddie is my guy. I love playing as Eddie. I know, you button mash, you do your thing, but it kicks ass. I have always loved playing as Eddie. He's been in like the since like Tekken 3. I don't know if he was in the other ones, but Tekken 3, he has been here, and Tekken 7, he was here. So I was like, it's a no-brainer that Eddie's here, and then he's not, and it's kind of super sad. I guess he has potential to becoming later down the line as like a DLC person, but I'm really hoping that they put my guy Eddie in this game because he has always and will always be my main. Also, this is not on the same vein of like actually sort of missing Eddie, because I do really miss him, but they had a character in Tekken 7 named Josie. Why is she gone? Like, right when I start a channel, the character that represents me in the game is gone. Also, she doesn't represent me. She was kind of a maniac. And, like, every time she would fight, she's like, ooh, I don't know if I can do, I'm so scared. I was like, you're representing us Josie so terribly right now. But, and maybe that's why they took her out. I don't know. It was kind of sad, though, because I was like, oh, that's me. You know, they have a character named after me in the game. That's sick. But now she's gone. So, not that I actually super care about that one, but I don't know, kind of sad to see it go. Okay, but down to the actually really good stuff is that Tekken Ball is back. I don't know if you guys remember Tekken Ball, but it's basically like volleyball, sort of, where you like punch the ball into your opponent, and then it does a bunch of damage, and then it's like, it's very cool. I highly recommend you check it out. It's a very fun little side mode if you're bored of actually fighting and stuff. This is a great side mode. It's so fun. It's so, you know, it's like a bizarre little side mode that a lot of people aren't going to care about, but if you're ever bored and you need a break from just fighting over and over again, Tekken Ball is going to be that break. So it also here just shows that they're taking a lot of love and care and putting it into this game, and they're like bringing back things that people loved from back in the day, and so I really appreciate that, and I'm excited to see like how the community adopts Tekken Ball, and for new people to find out about Tekken Ball, like how you guys feel about it, because it's very fun. Along with that, you also have a really good training mode as well. The training modes in this game are always fantastic. If you ever want to like fine-tune your skills and your abilities and stuff, if you ever want to go into like competitive Tekken, this is where it's at. You can have them do repeating motions, you can have them like learn your playstyle and mirror you, so it's really hard to fight against that next person, which is very cool. And you can like, it teaches you your highs, your lows, your mids, all that kind of stuff. It teaches you how to jump in and out of the background, stuff like that, because Tekken is a 3D fighter, as we all know, and so like that's all very important stuff to know, and you get to know all of that in the training mode. And if you ever want to mess around with a character, a training mode is a great place to take them to. First and foremost, Tekken is a fighting game, so you know I'm gonna say like don't expect like a crazy amount of things to do outside of fighting, because that is what you do. But if you like fighting, or even if you don't but you've always been intrigued by it, or you're interested in the story, I really recommend that you check Tekken out. I usually mess around with Tekken for like my playtime for Tekken 7, I played it this year only. I don't know, I have like 30 hours into it, and it's just fighting and stuff like that, but it's very fun. There's a lot of hours to be put in this game, and it's just a good game, genuinely. There's also, of course, that versus mode, and I feel like that is what I will get the most out of it with. You know, since I was a kid playing this on the PS2, I have used versus mode against my dad, against my brother, and now I play versus mode all the time against my boyfriend. So it's like, you know, it's a lot of just fighting. It's a lot of just fighting. But if you like just fighting, or if you're interested in this game, if you like something like Smash and you want to go to more a traditional fighting game, Tekken is a really great one, I think. A lot of Tekken is about, the combos, flying people up in the air and going like back to back to back, juggling them around. And like with the new controls, I think it's so much more accessible for anyone to do that. So I'm very excited to just see how like my dad and my brother and stuff accept these new controls, because my dad was always pretty good at the combos, my brother was not, and then I was sort of on the edge of it. So I'm like very happy that we have these new more accessible controls that'll just allow us to have more fun and more competitive matches. Oh, there's also like the music mode. So it's basically like Smash Ultimate, where you can play whatever music from whatever Tekken game you want, and it's just there, and you can play it during the stages and stuff. So that's pretty cool as well. Also, we got some really sick merch. I don't know if you can see Mr. Jin right here, but how sick is he? How flipping rad is Jin right now? It's a very cool figure. I think it's the one that comes in the special edition, so I'm very happy that they handed that out to us, because he's a beast. Oh, we got this cool little coin too. Pretty sick coin. And I got this jacket, and I'll put the jacket that I got on screen right now. I was very excited about the jacket. It's a very warm jacket, actually. One of my favorite jackets lately. I've been wearing it everywhere. Genuinely. And it's weird because I don't really wear video game stuff, so a lot of people don't know I play video games. And then they're like, oh, where'd you get that? I'm like, oh, I just went to this Tekken event. So thank you to Bandai Namco for allowing me to go to this. It's been very, very cool, and I'm very excited to see, like the public reception to this game. Don't forget about that demo coming out the 21st of December. It's a very, it's going to be a really good way to see if Tekken is a game for you, and I'm sure they're going to have the new style controls in there. So get excited for that. I met a lot of cool people. Shout out to Harada. I met Harada. That was sick. I met Yongye. That was cool. I saw Maximilian, dude. Tons of other YouTubers were there. It was very fun. Very cool little event, and I'm very happy I could go to it. So if you're a publisher out there, sign me tomorrow. I will be there in 2 heartbeats. I'd also like to give a big shout out to John, because I went to represent the Spawncast, and that was very fun. So yeah, thank you guys.